feel like we live in a world where silence really hides the reality of abuse. And it shouldn't be that way. So, welcome to my new podcast, Down the Rabbit Hole, where I'll be sharing my raw and honest journey of overcoming all forms of abuse and many other challenges that I faced. And in this podcast, I'll be sharing my own experiences and perspective, and also I would really like to also explore the stories of others who faced unimaginable challenges and came out stronger on the other side, or even if it's just to share perspective, because I really hope to offer insight and inspiration, but most importantly, I really want to offer practical advice for those who are trying to navigate through similar struggles. As somebody who has personally experienced all trials of abuse, divorce, postpartum depression, the hardships that nobody talks about with single parenting, or really parenting in general, but even having at one point being literally terrified of my own thoughts because my mental health was so destroyed from the effects of it all. And I feel like that's what made me understand the importance of sharing my story, is just maybe through my vulnerability and my honesty that I'm hoping to shed light on and break the silence on surrounding these issues, and just really help that these people aren't alone. Like, I feel like that's my biggest goal, is not only to stop, obviously all abuse is everybody's goal, but I feel like I would really love to help make somebody not feel alone in this broken time of their life, because it's brutal. And whether you're in an abusive situation and you're trying to get out, or you're like myself and you're on your own healing journey, or if you're just looking for connection or hope for yourself, or even if it's for a loved one, then I feel like this podcast could be for you. I really would love to not just share my story, but try to inspire others to share their story as well, because I think it's important to give our perspective, to give the people that are trying to do good and help people they love, or help stop domestic violence, have a better insight and perspective, to have a better understanding of it all. Because I feel like because it's one of those things, and it's kind of like in everything in life, unless you've walked through it, you don't know. And especially like with all the forms of abuse, I feel like being the victim of it and living in it, in the situation, the aftermath of the effects, having everybody brush it off almost as if it's not a big deal, even if they don't mean it that way, is one of the hardest things to hear, having gone through it, because no one will ever understand the effects that being abused has on somebody's mental health for the rest of their life. It changes a person, and it might get easier as the days go on, but it never goes away. And I feel like it's something that really needs to be talked about more. And that's my goal. So if anybody has any topics that they want me to touch on, or if anybody has any questions, feel free to message me. And I also would like to say I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a life coach. I am just here to share my story and break my silence in hopes that I could give insight and a better perspective of it all for anyone that will listen. So stay tuned for my first episode.